What's up, guys? Sean here from Srkcycles.com. We have a 2003 Honda VTX 1300, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I genuinely think that this is one of the best bangs for your buck when it comes to a big man-sized cruiser bike, and I'm gonna explain why. Test driving everything and anything with two wheels to help you find your next bike. I'm Sean Kerr, and this is Srkcycles. All right, so it is big. It's beautiful, it's got a great motor, super reliable, and it is so incredibly cheap. This is the type of bike that anyone can own, and it looks awesome. Let's take it for a spin. Come on, let's do it. Key is down here near your thigh. This specific bike has 45,000 miles on it. Guys, let's do the words of wisdom. As a father has Psalms 103:13. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. Amen. It is a pretty cold day. They're talking about snow tomorrow, but that don't scare me because I got my VTX. Let's talk a little bit about the specs of the VTX. Now, as far as I know, the VTX 1300 was always carbureted. When you're buying a VTX 1300, or when you're buying any carbureted bike, this is what you're looking for. It should just fire up. Worst case scenario, especially for a Honda, there should not be any story or special tricks to get it running. You pull the choke out on a cooler day, you pull the choke out, fire it up. Within a minute or so, you put the choke in, it should idle. If that's not what you have to do to it, the carburetor needs tuned. If you have to have the thing open, the choke open for like 5 to 10 minutes or something wrong with it, it's not a big deal, but the carburetor needs to be tuned and adjusted and fixed. It should do what I just said it should do. Now, why these things are such great bikes, we have this bike listed at less than $3,000. I think $2,700 bucks. $2,700 bucks for this big man-sized bike. Now, what are your other options? Let's go to the full end of the spectrum, right? Let's go. You can buy a $45,000 Harley Davidson. Now, keep in mind, this is top of the line Harley Davidson. This is a CVO Road Glider, something like that. But the wind that touches your face and your chest is not any sweeter on a bike like that than it is right here. Unless you're not behind a dump truck or a trash truck. This bike is a big man-sized bike. I'm 6'2", I feel great on it. It's not intimidating, but it's not small. For the same kind of money, $2,700 bucks, I have sold Honda Rebels for around $2,600 bucks. Honda Rebels. A Honda Rebel is a 250cc motorcycle. This is a 1300. A Honda Rebel feels like a little tiny, like this big, like a pit bike. This feels like a car on two wheels. It's just a man-sized bike, which is awesome, which is what you want. This bike's weighing in at 650 pounds and pushing 74 horsepower. They are reliable. They almost never leak. I've never had one that leaked any oil. The only issues I've ever had with these would just be every once in a while you have to replace the battery. That's everything. That's everything you buy. And at 45,000 miles, you could tell me it had 4,000 miles. I couldn't tell the difference. It feels very tight. If you told me it had 145,000 miles, all right. It just wouldn't make a difference. These things run forever. I think they're beautiful bikes. I believe this is the S model. In 2003, this was the S model. They made a couple different models, a C and an R, and the difference was the fenders and the gauges, and like the handlebar. You know, it wasn't any huge differences. But I do like the S model. I like these bigger fenders. It's kind of a more classic look. This is a aftermarket windshield. I think it looks kind of sleek. It does the job. It gets the wind off of my chest, and actually there's no wind hitting my helmet, so it's doing a great job. So there's no wind hitting my helmet, but I can see right over it, which I really like. And it's not tinted so much that I can't see through it to see what's going on down there. These bikes are fun. They handle well. They're great for riding 2-up. And they made the VTX 1300 for a while, and there's tons of accessories for them. So if you are looking for an inexpensive bike, 1 to purchase, 2 to maintain, something that looks cool, feels great. I mean, I like, throw it down in the comments. What's the downside? Other than it's not a Harley Davidson. Or it's not a Harley Davidson. It doesn't claim to be a Harley Davidson. But what's the downside of a great bike like this? It's comfortable. It rides great on the highway. Has plenty, I mean, ample amount of power. Let's get on it a little bit. It's got floorboards. It's got heel-toe shifter. I've always liked these bikes. I've always admired them. The only beef I've ever had with the VTX 1300 was just, it wasn't the 1800. And I'm at that point in my life. I'm not the point of my life that I'm not at is where, you know, oh, that's enough. That's enough power. That's more than enough. I'm at the point where there never is more than enough. Guys, that wraps up the test drive. Do not forget to subscribe. We're doing test drives of bikes all year round, all the time. This bike is for sale at Srkcycles.com. We'll see you guys later. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you going. Check out the next video.